All right, hello once again. Tucker here. Give me another update on the board game jam that I've done. Something that no one asked me to do. It's not affiliated with anyone or anything. It was just something I wanted to do while my wife was away this weekend, and I got a new job starting pretty soon. I'm going to be doing somewhat of a job this week, so it's kind of like a fun thing I can do before things kind of start picking up again. We got weddings coming up. My birthday is coming up. We're doing like a big bike tour thing around some breweries. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So it's like my one time I felt like, hey, let's make a game. So quick update. So last time I left off, I kind of talked about how I feel like I figured out like how the game mechanic of the baseball game is going to work, and now it's time to do some arts and crafts, as it were. And that's what I did. So as you can see here, I made little cards. I have a label maker. Boy, get a label maker. I was skeptical at first. My wife was like, "Would you get a label maker and label our lights and everything for our new house?" I was like, "Well, we're gonna live here forever, so why would we need that?" And then I was like, "Well, this is why you need a label maker." Also, uh, my little office thing I have outside has many light switches. It has many buttons. I have no idea why any of them do what they do. I don't know why there's so many of them of those buttons, but my wife labeled everything, and now I turn things on with a lot more confidence, which is good now too. So I have these little cards I've made. So that one says out. There's another some out ones as well. These green ones are the offensive. So when you're doing your rolls and you have your white dice, which signify your offensive moments of the game, these are the cards you can buy, and they have little. In some cases, they might say out, which just means nothing happens, which is fine. People get out in games. It happens 27 times. Someone on your team, 27 times, you'll get an out on your team. This one's like stolen base, a little +1 there as well. This one says single, +1. So what that signifies is when you draw these cards, that is how you're going to progress on your tract. Oh, what's the tract you say? It is this thing. This is the thing. I cut out a thing. I have like a little trifold, little kind of like a science fair board. When I've tried to make board games, these are the best ways to get like paper, cardboard, and if you're making like a folding board, it folds perfectly. It's great, and I got a Dollar Tree. It's $1. So this is like my little tract thing. So as you'll see here, you'll start here, and then if you get like, let's say you get uh, a single, which was a +1, you're going to move on this track. You'll move one if that's in your pile. As you progress, if you get into this area, that's when you have one run. Now, I looked at stats for what happened in the 1919 for the Cincinnati Reds. They're the ones that won the World Series. They essentially averaged about 3 to 4 hits a run. So they had to get like 3 or 4 hits, and that's how they would get a run, or 3 or 4 total bases, as it were, including like walks and triples and home runs and everything like that. So I kind of use that theory of just saying like, well, if you just have that many of those things happen, you're going to score runs and double plays and strikeouts and getting caught stealing and getting thrown out on the base paths. Those have adverse effects on your performance, and that's not going to allow you to score. And my dog is going to start chewing on a toy because she sees me talking to no one, and she thinks she's the one. She thinks I'm going crazy. She's trying to bring some normalcy to this house. So that's the same thing. So you will progress, and as you progress, it takes less and less to get those things, because usually when you get a lot of hits and and the other team plays poorly, these runs are easier to get. It's always hard to get those first runs sometimes. It doesn't usually come too easy. So you progress down this track, and that's what these green cards can help you do. Now, I also have other colored cards. These are the black ones. These are for pitching. So if you are a pitcher in the game, or you are a catcher, so catchers also have control over what the pitches are, because they're calling the signals. They're giving like, hey, I want a fastball, curveball, changeup. So they can see some of these things as well. And now you have your opponents who are doing the same thing. Now some of these are good. It's a strikeout, so that would be a -1 on this track. But there are some other things in here that aren't good. So you have like a walk. That's something that a pitcher can control. Or they leave one up and there's a hit to the gap. That's +2. And that is progressing their line as well. So that is also what they're doing. And then finally we have the yellow ones, which are the fielder cards. Now, these have some things that can really start making things a little testy once you start getting into the game, because here's an error, and that's a +1. So if you have someone who's playing that card into the pile, you might wonder, why are you making so many errors? Home base, that adversely affects you. Sometimes there's errors. There's an error that has a +2, so that's a big error that could impact your team. Now, there are some things in here that can help you. So like a double play, I'll take 2 away. I can kill an inning, kill some momentum. The other thing I'm doing too is if you get past one of these little guideposts, like if you get a -2, you only go back down to that number. So you'll never lose a run in any of this, but once you pass that threshold, that's the number you have. And then if you get a -2, you would just go back to this one right here. Uh, then there's some of them that just say out, where nothing happens. It's just you kind of get lucky, and they just stay the same. So the goal is, after everyone has rolled their dice and everyone's played some cards into the middle, we're going to know where, hopefully, I don't know how much. I put it up to 10. I don't even think that's possible to score 10 runs. I don't think that's possible. So that's where a lot of the play testing is going to come into play, because I don't know where any of this is. So you're gonna have you start at 0, and then you'll play all the cards. You'll go through all of them, and then you'll see where you end up. And if your piece has more runs than the other one, then you will win the game. I don't know what to do in like extra inning situations. I think it might just go on whoever is progressed further on the track, which is basically what we're trying to do here. This is kind of showing how you can fall back, though. So, like, if you do get a -2, you can go back to this one, and there's a home run in there, which lets you just jump ahead to the next one. You don't need to. You just jump ahead. So that's part of it as well. But the main thing is, like I said, is how do we just make a very quick baseball game without having to do a ton? That's the one thing about a lot of baseball games when they're in like board game form, is the game itself can take a while. And if you're trying to do a game where you're trying to do like a series, because that's like how you're setting up rounds, you need something that's very quick. And I feel like this is a way that can make that really quick. I have a baseball game currently. It's called Bottom of the Ninth. It's a cool little dice kind of role playing game. But that game is only simulating the bottom of the ninth. That's the only thing you do, because there's a lot of kind of intricate rules and dice rolling, and it's kind of playing matchups and everything like that. That's how that game works. You only play the bottom of the ninth, and if you score a run, you win. If you don't, the other person you're going against wins. That's how that game works. So that's what I've got. I've basically got the components for this game. The only thing I'm really missing is just like like probably a little bit more of what will happen as the series progresses, to kind of give more power to the person who's throwing the series, or the people who are throwing the series. I got to give them probably a little bit more to work with. I got to do more with people who aren't. But I think like this structure, like what I have now, I think will fit into whatever I come up with when I'm doing the play testing. So I would say for the most part, this game is about 75% of the way there. It is just a matter of kind of playing around with some of the mechanics, playing around with probably this little score thing. I was like holding up a little score thing as I talked. Very weird yawn. Sounded like a person. So that's the update. I probably won't have anything until tomorrow because I really don't have much else to do, except I have to kind of play test it a little bit, and I don't have anyone here to do that. So I might just be rolling some dice and just seeing what progressions could happen based on that. I got to create like kind of the player cards. I can do that, but that's something I don't know what I'll have as an update. So that'll be the last update for today. I'll have something tomorrow as I'm kind of wrapping up the whole board game jam, but I'll have a game. I think I have a game here, which is exciting. So thank you very much if you've been following along for any of these updates and following along with this game. Someday this game is going to make me $1 billion. All right, bye.